Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into one of the absolute most fascinating, heavily debated topics on Earth. But before we get bogged down in the data and the historical records, I really want you to picture something for me. Just put yourself there. Imagine you're flying over the vast Atlantic Ocean on a totally routine flight. The sky is perfectly clear. The weather is flawless. Everything seems completely, utterly normal. And then,
without a single warning, things go wrong. Imagine sitting right there in that cockpit. Suddenly, your compass just starts spinning wildly out of control. Your radio, which was crystal clear literally a minute ago, is now just deafening static. The instruments on your dashboard start behaving erratically, flashing, failing one by one. You look out the window, and that sparkling ocean below you, it just disappears into this thick, unnatural haze. And then,
no communication at all, no distress signal, no explanation. The aircraft has simply vanished, without a trace. It is a deeply terrifying thought, isn't it? Like, what actually happened to them? How in the world can massive steel ships and modern aircraft just cease to exist? Because for decades, stories exactly like the one I just described have fueled one of the most chilling mysteries in human history.
of course, talking about the Bermuda Triangle. If you aren't perfectly familiar, we're dealing with a massive region of the North Atlantic Ocean, and it's bounded by three main points: Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. This specific patch of water has basically become ground zero for an intense clash of ideas. On one hand, you've got these incredible legends claiming it's a gateway to another dimension, maybe a hotbed for alien activity, or even the sunken resting place of Atlantis. But on the other hand, you have scientists arguing that the reality is, well, far more grounded. So to find the actual truth, we really have to look at
Section 1. History's greatest unexplained disappearances.
You see, these terrifying stories, they didn't just start with the invention of the airplane. Not at all. This legend has really deep, centuries-old roots. Long before modern navigation, early sailors reported highly unusual compass behavior, mysterious lights, and super dangerous sudden weather shifts right in this exact region. Back in 1492, Christopher Columbus himself actually noted in his logs that his compass readings were acting up, and his crew even reported seeing a bright, flame-like object crashing into the ocean. Now, historians today will tell you Columbus was probably just experiencing magnetic declination, the difference between magnetic and true north. And that fire in the sky, most likely just a meteor. But legends grow, and as naval and aviation travel really exploded in the 20th century, so did the disappearances.
And the human cost here is just staggering. Take 1918, for example. A massive U.S. Navy cargo ship, the USS Cyclops, was traveling from Barbados to Baltimore. It was loaded down with heavy manganese ore for wartime production and had over 300 crew members on board. The ship never arrived. There was no distress signal sent, no confirmed wreckage was ever found. It simply disappeared. To this very day, the loss of the USS Cyclops remains one of the largest single non-combat losses of life in the entire history of the U.S. Navy.
But the tragedy didn't stop there. Over 30 lives were lost in what is, without a doubt, the most famous Bermuda Triangle incident of all time, Flight 19. On December 5, 1945, 5 U.S. Navy Avenger torpedo bombers, led by a super experienced instructor, Lieutenant Charles Taylor, took off from Florida for what was supposed to be a totally routine navigation exercise. But shortly after takeoff, the radios just filled with confusion. Their compasses malfunctioned, the weather suddenly went bad. They were completely lost over the open Atlantic, and all 5 aircraft vanished. And honestly, it gets worse. A PBM Mariner rescue aircraft was sent out to find them, and it reportedly exploded midair right after takeoff. That's 6 aircraft lost, over 30 lives gone, and again, 0 confirmed wreckage ever recovered. This single terrifying day basically became the foundation for the modern Bermuda Triangle legend.
So, moving on to Section 2, the science behind the myth. Let's look at the rational explanations.
Okay, so what happens when we strip away all the sensationalism? Researchers systematically point to 4 incredibly grounded, natural factors here. First off, heavy shipping traffic. This area is literally one of the busiest shipping lanes in the entire world. When you have thousands of ships and planes passing through every single day, accidents are just mathematically inevitable. Second, severe weather. This region is famous for dropping sudden, powerful hurricanes, tropical storms, and massive rogue waves that can just swallow a vessel in minutes. Third, navigational variations. Just like Columbus found out, compass readings can be really unreliable here due to magnetic variations, which is a huge deal for older technology. And fourth, the Gulf Stream. This is a crazy fast, super powerful ocean current flowing right through the area.
If a ship or plane does go down, the Gulf Stream acts like a giant high-speed conveyor belt, scattering the debris so fast that finding wreckage is almost impossible.
So when you really weigh those fascinating, wild conspiracies, the portals to other dimensions, Atlantis, alien tech, against the cold, hard statistical reality, a totally different picture emerges. Studies have repeatedly proven that the Bermuda Triangle doesn't actually have a higher rate of accidents than any other heavily traveled region of the ocean. Let that sink in for a second. Statistically speaking, it is absolutely no more dangerous than anywhere else with similar traffic and weather patterns.
Which brings us to Section 3, Why the Legend Survives. Think about it. If science has pretty clearly laid out the answers, why are we all still talking about this? Well, the answer is surprisingly simple. Human beings are just naturally drawn to the unknown, right? There's zero scientific evidence to support alien abductions in the Atlantic, even though, let's be honest, it makes for a fantastic movie. Yet these ideas continue to spread like wildfire because mystery has power. We kind of want to believe that there are still these profound, magical, or even terrifying secrets hiding out in the dark corners of the world. But our modern world relies on modern innovation. We're talking satellites, incredibly precise GPS systems, and highly advanced weather tracking. Today, navigating the ocean is safer than it has ever been in human history, and these technologies have drastically reduced the number of unexplained incidents. Literally right now, while you're watching this explainer, there are countless ships and commercial airplanes safely crossing the Bermuda Triangle without a single issue.
So it really all comes down to this idea. Not every mystery needs to be supernatural to feel unsettling. Honestly, I find it incredibly grounding to realize that you don't need sea monsters or aliens to create a tragedy. Sometimes, just a devastating combination of massive natural forces, simple human error, and terrible coincidences is more than enough to forge a legend that can last for hundreds of years.
So what do you think the Bermuda Triangle really is? Is it a cursed stretch of ocean? Is it a complex scientific puzzle we've finally solved? Or is it maybe just one of the most deeply misunderstood regions on Earth? Ultimately, the answer kind of depends on what you choose to believe. But remember this, as long as our oceans remain vast, incredibly unpredictable, and largely unexplored, the powerful allure of the Bermuda Triangle is never, ever going to truly disappear. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I will see you next time.